Hi, it's Josh. I'm live on Madison Avenue with the trailer. Heading through some tricky traffic here. Hi, guys. See that? See that? That guy was pulling into a parking space. That guy was pulling out. Snaked right through them. Not even a scratch on those guys. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, live in New York City. A great construction site. It's a new style architectures with the core beam in the middle. It's like building around a street lamp. See the solid core in the building, so it can go higher and be stable. It's a common design since Y2K. The center core, so that you're kind of like, think of like the street lamp here. You have a strong core in the building, then you can build the floors around it almost modularly. So a lot of super tall skyscrapers are using similar techniques. How's it going? That's an impressive one. They've been working on that building that we just passed for like 2-3 years. This is the famous St. Patrick's Cathedral on the back side where the I don't know, the deacons are, I guess, and the church officials, and where the bishops can meet and stuff. And rest in peace, Mother and Auntie. We're double baptized in Hawaii. They're in a Catholic cemetery with our relatives on Mother's side. Hope you're having a peaceful day. We are moving. We're heading north to Harlem. I haven't been up to Harlem for a Courier run in a long time. I'm here on the electric bike. This one is the largest trailer that they have. It hauls up to 440 pounds. And I've been getting messed up my ankle already once. And both toes, jammed both toes pretty bad. I thought they were broken. However, the one on the right heel that moves pretty freely now, almost as it used to. The one on the left is really badly bruised and sprained. The toe. The ankle's like, I'd say like 70% healed. I'm heading north on Madison, passing a cigar shop. And what else is going on? And it's very sunny today. It's hot. It's in the 80s. But, you know, I've been on the street a long time. So, one of the nice things about having a Courier trailer like this is you can go on the bus lanes pretty easily on Madison. But I'm going to cut over to the park. And I'm going to go along the park loop and go up to Larry's freewheeling. That's where I buy my bikes. Because, to be quite honest, I'm from, grew up in the projects, but a lot of kids stole from Larry. I didn't, but it was so ridiculous. This Jamaican guy, and I didn't realize he was partners with a Jewish bike owner as well. It was Larry and Jeff's. I didn't realize it. But I just remember feeling bad for him. Because of all the crazy stories and how people would lift stuff from Larry's. So I don't see how he stayed in business over 40 years, but he did. I guess he had other families that would buy bikes. But think about it. There are various reasons why kids in the ghetto go to the dark side and stay in the dark side. I've heard that. How's it going? Hey, Roblox, what's up? Go to Casey Neatstat's office. Casey Neatstat had some dope streams. I used to see him, and his apartment is swank. It was like a warehouse. He made a lot of money on the street. Casey Neatstat, I saw one of him in the winter. Like he hitched a snowboard to the back of a friend's pickup or something. And then just snowboarded all up and down in Manhattan on the street behind his buddy. That was a cool stream. I haven't thought of that guy in a while. But he made a fortune on YouTube. How's it going? Yeah. they're passing the Apple store and all the Swank stores on Madison. These are like the upper class stores. So you got the ladies in white and the gentlemen in their Armanis. The shop here, Baccarat, Montclair, Roger Vivier, Schaffhausen, Peter Millar, all these Swank shops. Yeah. Rhoda, what's your life advice? My life advice? Never give up. Just keep trying, dude. Just don't give up on yourself. No matter what the world is throwing your way, you gotta just keep trying. All right, where are we at? 61st Street. All right, we're rolling up 61st. I'm gonna turn into the park, so you're gonna see all the nice flowers and the joggers in their shorts running around in just a moment. I'm gonna turn in on 64th, I think, 63rd maybe. That's on 5th. Nah, there are a few more French shops up here. Dolce. You seen Spider-Man swinging somewhere? Good question. Spidey's good. Very good question. Spidey's #1 on the street. Still the #1 Marvel comic. The thing about Spidey is he's global. Like Spidey was Stan Lee's last effort. He was going to give up writing comics, and he said, "Well, I have this one other character that I created. It's a true story. Look it up. It's called the Spider Boy or the Spider Man. Call him the Spider Man." And he told the backstory, and they're like, "I don't think so. All right, we'll put it in Final Fantasy number 15 as an intro to your Spider-Man character." And he was a huge hit. They had to do another printing, and hence Spider-Man was born. And that was a long time ago. And yeah, he was gonna give up, Stan Lee, and Spider-Man was a huge hit. He's created a lot of amazing content. Yeah, Spidey's #1. I'm gonna turn here on 66th. I'm gonna say hi to a vendor friend in the park who I believe is there, and we'll check out his Spidey stuff. He always gets new Spidey stuff. Like, you know, the Multiverse movie, that was a good movie where there's 3 of them and one of them is married to MJ. He's got like a wife and kids, and the other one they broke up, and MJ's black. And the third, you remember the Spider-Man franchise, the movie? Yeah, the Multiverse movie was good, because then they brought in all 3. I can't remember their names. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and the third dude. Do you know any huge accountancy buildings, offices in New York City? I'm delivering law papers right now from a Swank law firm on Madison. I can't tell you the client's name or office name because of confidentiality. But I deliver from architecture firms and and law firms a lot. I can carry up to 400 pounds in this trailer behind me. This is the large trailer. It's about a 6-foot trailer. So depending on the orders they give me, they'll give me truck jobs. They'll pay me truck rate, which is like $25 more or something. So I'm lucky if I get a larger one, but I have to watch my ankles because when it gets heavy, the bike throws you like it throws your weight. My ankle popped. You can hear your ankle pop. So if you get a job like this, make sure whenever you hit a red light, whenever you stop moving, come to a full stop before you put your feet down, because I've injured my feet so many times just in the last 2 years on these large trailers. Because you think, you know, oh, I'm strong and I've run marathons. I've run 5 marathons and my legs are in great shape and my cardio's good. But you put your ankle down at the wrong moment, at the wrong angle, and you just crack it. You just break it, but you sprain it, or you rip a tendon, and then it hurts all week when you're on the bike. And I don't want to take any days off, so I'm take a couple aspirin and be like, keep going. Tom says hi. Yeah. 55 Water Street, I go there a lot. I go to some accounting firms on Midtown. And the bikes are great. Right. I'm going to turn in here and say hi to my vendor friend. We're going to check out his Spider-Man and Harry Potter stuff. This is the Strand Annex. They source all their books from Strand Bookstore. They bring it all the way up to Central Park. Strand is down on 12th Street. This is 61st Street. 62nd, 61st, 62nd. So that is legit to 50 blocks, 2.5 miles. That's the Strand Annex. It's the street vendors, the guys who work for Strand, who manage it. They put on a short list of whatever's in demand, and they do that for New Yorkers. Oh, my vendor buddy's not here. Is it too hot? One of the hot dog guys here. I'm gonna go on the road behind the zoo here. This is Ween Walk. It leads to the Central Park Zoo, so you can see the polar bears and the sea lions get fed every in the summer. Polar bears are indoors. You can see the tropical birds, the tropical bird forest. You can see the tree monkeys. They're outside. The tree monkeys are outside. The sea lions. I'm gonna make a left here onto the road up to the dairy and main road. Oh, my buddy's not here. So this is all the electric vehicles of New York municipalities. So the rangers and police officers that have electric vehicles can go to these recharge stations. That's what we're passing now. So on the right, you'll see cop cars and ranger cars, and all these are electric vehicles, e-volt vehicles, or hybrids, EV charging, like Tesla chargers. These are the city parks. These are the electric vehicles. See this one right here recharging? Slow down here. That one is recharging. These are the recharge stations. So if you have a Tesla, you can come in and get some free energy, I guess, if you have that adapter. Here's another one recharging. This is where all the city and cop vehicles recharge. God, they made so many more. There's like 30 now. There's another one. There's another black one recharging. So I remember reading about Tesla, like the early ones, these cheapo cars, like these smart vehicles, they can still do 350 miles in a day. And if it's a city vehicle and they're just on the city grid, that's like 10 times around the Isle of Manhattan, because Manhattan is 33 miles if you do the running loop. On the outside of Manhattan Island, it's 33 miles. So they could go around Manhattan 10 times as they serve on one charge. All right, passing the Conservancy, and looks like they have bikes for rent here. Fancy Apple bike and scooter rental. And bringing the trailer on the loop. We're gonna go all the way up to 110. So you gotta go to 121st. And you can see the horses that are fed oats and carrots and apples. Happy horsey. And happy family who's rented them. This popular romantic trip. Look, they have a tack box. Happy horsey. And also the pedicabs that are for hire.
You can go to the main street.
So believe it or not, the sign rate is $3 a minute for a pedicab in New York, which is extremely expensive. So that's $180 an hour this dude can be paid up to. If you're a tourist, tourists do pay it. But most people, they look at the sign and they go, no, I'm not gonna ride it. So then he starts haggling. So it's like, okay, what about $1 a minute? Or 50 cents a minute? So it depends on the, you know, by any chance an accountant? An accountant. There might be an accountant in the chat. I don't know. I don't know your guys' jobs, but I'm not flipping to your channel to see what you do. I do math and science, tutoring and teaching. I have a whole network of lessons that I can share. All right, 14 minutes. We're passing, approaching 72nd. Another happy horse. And I forget the rates for horse and buggy, but also a very romantic ride, just like 100 years ago in New York. They put up this long fence here and made a new road as you approach 72nd on the east side and the observatory pool. We're gonna pass Summer Stage here. On the left is Summer Stage, and that famous statue from local kids. That's Mother Goose. That's the Mother Goose statue. So Mother Goose is on a broom flying like a witch, but that's Mother Goose. It's not a Halloween. And that's Summer Stadium.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just 20 years old.
And on the right is the observatory pond. And they're famous for people putting out telescopes along the brim and checking out star patterns at night. So you see folks with their telescopes by the observatory pool. There's a nice little cafe down there. It's one of the lower parts, collectibles in the park. It's one of the lower elevations. And they have little remote control boat races, little sailboat races. They have contests there in the summer once in a while. Since I was a kid, since the 80s, 90s. How's it going? This on the left is the boathouse and the Bethesda Fountain and Turtle Pond. Not Turtle Pond, and the upper pond. And Bow Bridge. Bow Bridge was also in Highlander, was featured in that movie. But they have weddings and some graduation special events here at the boat. It's one of the larger ponds in the middle of the park. There's a giant reservoir of water also in the middle of the park as we climb Mountain Cat Hill. This is the steepest hill on the east side, and marathon runners in October, November, well, throughout the summer, but as the marathon of November draws clear, as it approaches, as it draws near, you have hundreds of marathon runners running up and down Cat Hill. Hundreds. Training for the marathon. I used to train with Fred's team when I ran the marathon. Just run up and down this quarter-mile loop to light lamppost to lamppost. So we do all the way up the hill, all the way down. That 4 times, that was a mile. And here's the mountain cat. Pull over to the left. It's the mountain cat that overlooks this steepest hill on the east side. This is the mountain cat. This is Cat Hill. And it's steep like Heartbreak Hill in Boston, you know. But the thing is, once you get to the top, it's flat. And by the way, if you train and decide to run the marathon for yourself, good for you. It was a good experience for me. And anyway, you go downhill. So from mile 24 to mile 25, the marathon. It's between mile 24 and 25 in the New York City Marathon. This road itself. And once you make it to the top, it's gonna flatten out. And we're behind the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which has famous collections, everything from Van Gogh to Dali. They have a few French Impressionists, such as Renoir, and a large collection of Egyptography and even old Asian metallurgy and armor and weaponry. It's a wonderful museum if you haven't been here. They have a wing of Mesoamerica, Quipu skills, and quilts. Here's the obelisk that was brought over by a barge from Egypt. And they also have a full room of a whole temple that they brought over from Egypt, one of the smaller temple walls. All the entire thing, brick by brick, they brought it over and set it up here on 81st Street. I guess 82nd. We're gonna keep going. I haven't taken the route all the way up north. How's it going? Let's see what chat's up to. You seen any Spider-Man streaming? No. Do you know by any chance an accountant who earns good money in New York City, USA? I am not an accountant. But I am a math and science teacher of renowned skill. You can check out my website. An accountant. There's no accounting for taste? Okay. All right, we're heading up north. We're past the mile 24 marker from the marathon. My seat's a little high, which is good for my legs, but my back isn't straight. So I'm leaning forward too much for the bars. So you need like those bar extensions where you can sit almost upright. It's like a city bike. But I think this might be the first time I've worked for Breakaway for the Courier company, going so far up north, where going all the way up to Harlem with the large trailer. Yeah, this is the furthest distance I've gone on the large trailer. And I did do the New York Roadrunner 60K. And the marathon, up to 100,000 people do the marathon now, which is the marathon majors, which is like London and Tokyo and Berlin and New York and LA. The major marathons of the world. But did you know there used to be a race, and they might bring it back, the New York Roadrunner 60K. Marathon is about 43 kilometers. So the 60K, or 37.2 miles, is going up this hairpin here to the north side and then going 10 times around the inner loop. 9 times. 9 times 6 is... 9 times 4 is 36. So it's 37.2 miles. So we had to do 9 loops. And it is kind of hilly on both ends, but I know this park. I grew up with this park, so I'm one of the few New Yorkers that ran the 60K. Started here with this bridle path on 90th Street. Oh boy, that was in 2012 when they had Hurricane Irwin devastated Long Island and Staten Island in New York, and they canceled the New York City Marathon. So I met some semi-professional runners who were sponsored, and they said, I don't know if they were joking. They said, Josh, you gonna try the marathon, buddy? I think you could do it. And so I tried and I did it. Yeah. And so I did the 60K. Then they ended it. And the funny thing was when I ran I ran 37.2 miles. And I'm a total amateur runner. So in last place, they were running up and the guy was screaming, you better hurry up because I'm calling it. It's about 8 hours because we're in the very dead end. And I was with the guy who was celebrating his 60th birthday. His name was Mr. Gonzalez. So another weekend warrior type runner. And he didn't look 60. I said, man, you look pretty good for 60 years old, buddy. This Puerto Rican guy, he laughed. And I said, let's run together. So we ran the last loop together because we're both exhausted, so we ran in side by side. And we're in last place for the 2012 New York Roadrunner. Me and Mr. Gonzalez. Amathon, yes, there are plenty. Plenty of what? Plenty of accountants. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day, everybody, no matter what race, religion, or creed you are, male or female. My name's Josh. I grew up near Central Park. I'm a half Asian, half European mixed child. How's it going? And we're going to pass the northern ball fields. And tennis courts are on the left, but we can't see them through the trees. And on the right is the big north field near Mount Sinai Hospital. My mother, God rest her soul, with the Lord Jesus Christ, she had a very terrible cancer. She was suffering a lot. And she had some treatment here visited her at Mount Sinai. My mother's a very smart, good woman. She was a teacher and an actress, a Broadway star. She's an elementary school teacher. It's her first master's. And her second master's was in Asian theater. This is not a joke. She had 2 master's degrees, mother. She's very bookish, very intelligent, loved the arts, loved going to museums with her girlfriends of every race and religion, loved talking about art and theater and writing. She had books, and she had like libraries of books at her house of like the classics and Western literature, Asian literature. She's a very smart woman, mother. Oh man. Yeah, mom was a good woman. It's, hopefully, if you have your mother still with you, I hope you call her once in a while or get to see her. She's not busy. Yeah, as those now I can only now have some photos and some old letters and stuff, but knickknacks, but it's not the same. Not the same, dude. Yeah. Hope all of you are well and your families are well if you're in touch with them. Hope you're on good terms. We're heading up north to Harlem. This is the 102nd Street Transverse. You can kind of cross at 102. And then this is now the North Loop. Just a little more than a mile. And there's a couple of nice landmarks as we pass up north. This is a castle up here. An old castle keeper goes back to Revolutionary times. Can't see it through the rocks. Where's the flag? I think it's a national landmark, or it's historically preserved anyway. And the gardens are on the right. The Central Park flower gardens are down here. Some of it. And this total work zone here. Wow. Why is this up like this? I don't know. I guess they got to redo these old fences. If you're from New York, you know that there's been a crisis because all the trees in Central Park turned 100 years old. Like 2/3 of the trees are over 100 years old. So they have to replace these trees that are falling so it's safe. They've been doing this for about 20 years. As the trees turned 100 and 120, not all of them are in good shape. So they had to go through it and find, oh my God, they're totally redoing the upper rink here. This is Wallman Rink. They're expanding the athletic center up here on the north side. I didn't even know the city was doing this. But they're using up here in the projects in Harlem would come down to swim, jump in the pool. And they're making a bigger athletic center, it looks like. Wow. They're totally redoing it. I grew up, this was the pool you didn't go to because it was too dangerous. The parents were like, nah, you're going to go to the Y, or we're going to go to Holiday Inn. I don't think so. We'll go on a road trip. But once in a while we'd ice skate here, but it's just the city wasn't incredibly safe at night. And then, wow, they're totally redoing the ice skating rink. They're making it so much bigger. It's an underground layer here. Athletic center. Maybe they'll have squash courts or an indoor pool or indoor facilities, gym, weight rooms, and climbing walls. I don't know. Inside the hills, I'm impressed. I did not know the city was funding this. With all the protests, a lot of folks don't know their history. Columbia University, 68, the protest was started by the Black Student Union because they were going to take over Harlem and take homes away from mostly African Americans to build a gym. And the only students at Columbia at the time, in the 60s, nearly all of them, without exception, nearly all of them were on the sports teams. So they quietly, and with all due respect, asked them not to break ground in Harlem. This is a true story, the Morningside Gym. And that was the start of the protest. And then it became an anti-Vietnam War protest, an anti-investment into these foreign peoples, which was interesting. So the Black Student Movement became a white protest against an international war, which was remarkable. So if you read about it, I was reading about it again from a book called Time to Stir on my YouTube channel. The black and white protests halfway through the takeover of Columbia in 68, they split into a black protest and a white protest because the black students said, didn't you hear what we said? They're trying to take away all the homes and buildings of these poor ghetto families, and we're black and they're all black. And the white students said, didn't you hear what we said? They're sending all of our brothers and brothers over to Vietnam to fight guerrilla warfare and train them. They're going to get slaughtered. And what problem do we have with Vietnam? Why should we be there in the first place? So that was the dynamic that happened and unfolded. So very different than the modern protests of Free Palestine, which came on the aftermath of the police brutality protests and stuff like that. Here we made it up to the north side. All right. Very different dynamic And the gripes of new immigrants who are looking for work are very differently expressed than they used to be. You can rent a bike here, right around in the park. All right, I'm gonna go around the rotunda here, and head over to this is the Marcus Garvey. Hey, 42 is the lock. I'll be with you in a moment. What's up? I'm not taking your picture, man. I'm reading a text. My mom's with Jesus Christ. All right, we're gonna pass the Nail and Spa, and I'm gonna pick up some blocks as we head up to the park. Stop at Larry's. This is Larry's Freewheel, and I'm just gonna run in quick, grab some blocks, and then head up north. Famous. It's been dealing for over 40 years. You didn't have any blocks. Hi, Miss Trish. Do you have any fuel, like the goose or the
no,
food?
sorry.
No food left?
No food this season.
What about a drink?
I have Gatorade.
I'm gonna pick up a drink and go. I gotta deliver these things to Harlem. I thought of you guys. Let me get a peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. How you been?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Hang in there. I twisted my ankle, but I'm doing the large trailer. See the black trailer out there? Yeah, I'm with Breakaway still. Yeah. My bike riding good? But I'll come back and get... No, my other one was stolen. The other one. Yeah.
You left it outside?
So I went back to 80th Street, his other store. I bought a bike there from Beth. Do you know Beth?
Yeah.
I bought a bike from Beth. But I will come back here. And what do I owe you for the drink?
$1.99.
Okay. Well, thank you again.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Okay. Can I give the penny into the tip jar?
Okay.
Okay. We will see you around.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And I'll come back. Have a good one. So let me address the... Sorry you lost her. I lost my father last year and it broke me. I moved back with my mother and she is also broken. We are healing together and I cherish every moment with her. Are you able to read chat as you ride? I guess not. Just talking to myself at this point. Just recommend interacting with chat subs more. Acknowledge that you are capable while riding. This isn't a great viewer experience. Oh man. Sorry 46S Lock, you're not here. But I am addressing the chat. It's just I had to watch out for traffic. I'm here at Larry's Freewheeling picking up a drink from Trish. And my condolences to the loss of your father. Remember, your mother needs a support network at this time. You know, she's older and she dedicated a good portion of her life to your father. So I was speaking to a friend of mine who lost his mother and I was like, well, does your father have any other companions? Does he go to a church or a temple or do any sports? Or does he want another, like a female companion? Like, does your mother want a male companion? Like, or does she play cards or cribbage or go to a reading group? Like something to stay active. So 42 is locked. Just I gotta watch myself with the big trailer in traffic. So yeah, it's tough to do it properly on a stream. But more important, this stream is more to not to chat, but to for folks to enjoy the cityscape, the actual buildings and the beauty that is New York City. That's why I stream in real life when I'm doing courier work. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the cityscapes and the travel as I head up to Harlem. All right, so I'm gonna head up to 121st now, or on 110th. I'm gonna limp back over to the bike. Look at all these bikes that they have. I'm out of here. Yo, I just unlocked this. Am I losing my mind? I just locked the bike when I was gonna leave. Said I'm like losing my mind. That was a weird trick. Why does he have them locked up? Oh, he's a regular cable. Oh no, look, there's a hardened case steel chain. That's the best defense that you have for theft in New York City. All right, I gotta go. I'm like tricking myself. All right, I'm out of here. All right, bros and sisters, I'm out of here. So I'm heading up the hill. This is Morningside Park. They have Epic Little League here and Adult League baseball and softball. And a lot of the teams will climb up the hill here at Pizza at Giovanni's. So that's why you see some baseball, Yankee type stuff on the wall sometimes, or other sports things. I guess they do football here too. American football. We're gonna go up a hill past the cathedral. Maybe we'll cut across Columbia Quad just for the fun of it. But we have to go to 121st. What can I tell you? Maybe see if there are protesters still there. If we cross the main gate, they'll let us. There should be heightened security since the takeover and the Palestine protest. I wasn't a participant in the protests at Columbia University. And I care about human rights and humanity and racial justice, but I didn't participate in the protests. I was thrown out of college for protesting for racial equality in the 90s, so I need a lecture from anyone that I'm ignorant on the issues. I would like to work towards peace and justice even at my advanced age, working a minimum wage job. This is the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Nice church. A lot of Chinese weddings here and other weddings. Let's see, Pathways of Pride. It's one of the churches that embraces gay marriage and the gay community, not only in the arts, but as clergy. And well, they have some standing tables up for eating. That's a weird neighborhood. This is a famous St. Michael's statue with the ring of children's statues from local schools. They did in some ironworks. And the homeless statue, the homeless person sleeping on a bench. And it's 112th Street. This is the famous Cathedral of St. John the Divine. St. John the Baptist, cousin of Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, who was beheaded at the command of Salome. The disrespect of the king. Of his ways. 113th Street. All right, maybe we can go across the quad. And I don't even know if there are tents here or protesters still. I don't see any protesters. We're on 114th. So I had a job interview, you know, because my master's is in education. And the woman's Muslim. Mitalka or something. I can't remember her first name. Something like that. Like Mitalka or Mikalta. Mitalka, I think. Mitalika. Mitalka. And forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it right or I'm going to have to try 2 or 3 times, but I've been a tutor and teacher a long time. And she goes, well, tell me a bad experience that you had as a teacher, if one comes to mind. And I said, well, I was working in the Bronx and at a very tough middle school. And, you know, there are children who are, wow, the checkpoint. Look at the checkpoint now. You can't just go right through the gate. The gate's closed. Locked. It's the protesters. Total checkpoint. Look at that. And here's the law school and horses. The law school. Wow. Look up, let's take you. Amazing. So anyway, she says, give me your worst experience as a teacher? Something that really troubled you. Was your worst day on the job? And I said, well, I was working in the Bronx and a boy came up to me and he had been beaten up by a gang. He was attacked by a gang and his face was all bruised and bloodied. And he was jumped. And he said, Mr. Wiener, I'm going to take revenge on the gang that jumped me today. He's confessing this to me before he does the crime. And he says, I have a gun. I'm going to shoot one of them. And I said, oh, don't, what are you talking about? Don't take revenge. I've been jumped too. I've been beaten up before by thugs and bullies. Don't do that. Don't do it for yourself, for your family. Don't do anything violent back. And he said, no, I'm going to do it. I have to. And he poked my stomach with something metal that felt like a gun. It was solid metal. He poked it in my gut. He said, I'm going to do this. And I said, whatever you're going to do, don't do it. And I'm looking dead in the eye. I'm dead serious because I don't know he's going to shoot me in the guts. It's this test subject. And he starts crying because he's a 15-year-old boy in 8th grade. It's crying. And so when I was a teacher in service in the Bronx, I was running down the hall crying. I run to the school counselor because it's an emergency. You know, we have a boy with a gun in the building. Go, Mr. Gonzalez, IJ says he has a gun. He's gonna, those kids that jumped him yesterday, remember when he came in and I was there with you? He's gonna take revenge and shoot one of them. He goes, Mr. Wiener, follow your class schedule, go back to work. Nothing's happened. I'm calling right now. Gret's on his walkie-talkie, I hear him talking. He's on his codes and stuff. I got this guy. Periods pass. I am still teaching. I go to my honors algebra class. This 15-year-old boy is in my class. Class comes in. We're about to start. Have our warm-up. He walks into class like nothing has happened. Like it's another day. Sits down in his chair like nothing has changed. This boy. So I'm shaking on the inside because he's got a gun. What if he shoots one of his classmates because they're Spanish, because they're not African American, they're not Muslim? What if he totally loses it? Trying to think of what to do. And Mr. Gonzalez walks in with a shit-eating grin on his face. And he goes, Jose, got to go to the office, your mother called. Jose get your things right now. So he takes all his things, goes to the door. They close the door. 30 seconds later, he opens the door. He goes, Mary, your mother called. You got to go to the principal to speak with your mother. Get your things. Mary gets all her things. He does this one by one every 30 seconds, evacuating the entire room. So the only people that are left are me and this boy who, thank you, who's claimed that he has a gun and he's going to seek revenge for gang retaliation. So I tell her this story, and I don't get to finish the story about whether they found a gun or whether he was, as the police arrested him, as they frisked him. I didn't tell her anything. And she goes, "Oh, okay, excuse me, that's enough. And I go, "What?" She goes, that's enough. And then she asked me other questions about my educational experience. Where else do I have educational experience? And then she asked me a second question. She goes, "Well, okay, if you were to talk about a horrible thing that happened on a day in the job, that would be the most horrible thing that you can think of." And this is just like, I was like, what, didn't this story of this poor boy who's crying for help because he's trapped in gang life, saying he's going to shoot somebody, isn't that the worst story ever? This poor little boy is crying for help and has no one to go turn to. And so I don't tell her that. I go, okay, well, I was at work one day, and when it was my first teaching position at Washington Irving, and I used to offer free tutoring at 6 a.m. I get there super early to set up and do all the paperwork. And girls walk in and they confess. I said, "Well, why have you been absent in my math class? Now I don't know if you're going to pass." And they go, "Well, Mr. Wiener, we've been going to hooky parties." And I go, "What's a hooky party?" You know, it's a party. We find a house that's empty, the parents aren't home, and we go in there and eat and drink and have sex. And I go, "Really?" So I go, I have to mandate report this to the city. I go, "Well, I'm glad you're in school and you're going to try and stay in school and be in school." It didn't occur to me that it was just before report card time, so they'd really like a 65, but that didn't occur to me at all. Like before mom and dad start yelling at them. But however, I welcome them back in class. The principal calls me and he goes, "I read your report, and we need to really follow up on this, sir." And I go, "Yeah, I know, sir. I had to write it down." He goes, "Good. Anytime anyone tells you anything, you have to write a full page. I want it right here on my desk. I want to see this." And then I told her when I was going to lunch, he used to have a few of the, like I'd look up whatever restaurant I went to, if I went to a pizza joint away from school or a little Asian Japanese place or a ramen shop. I'd look over my shoulder and one of the assistant principals would be there. And it did not occur to me that the students that I had to write up, they might have had friends who were doing even worse than them in class, who attempted none of the paperwork, that were definitely going to fail. So I didn't realize that they might have been doing that for my own safety. All right, I'm going to log off as we leave Sakura Park. We're on Claremont at 122nd. Thanks for watching me as I head up to Harlem here to make 2 drops. So I'm going to find my way, see how beautiful Harlem is by the universities and by Jewish Theological Seminary, Manhattan School of Music, as well as the Theological Seminary of New York. All right. It's also Teachers College, where I finished a master's in math education. It's a Catholic church here, where Mother used to take me, and also Columbia University. So it's wonderful here on the west side. I got to find this drop and then head deeper into Harlem to make the second drop. So take care, and bye-bye.